Hello and welcome to One Cool Thing, PC Mag's daily show where we show you one cool thing which we are testing out here in the PC Mag Labs. I'm Sasha Segan, this is Matt Buzzy. If you're watching us live on Facebook, please participate in the discussion by adding your comments and questions. Social Pete here will read out your comments and questions to us. We will have a discussion. If you are watching us later on YouTube, please like and subscribe. We have a new One Cool Thing every day for you. And today's cool thing answers the question of, do you have a laptop, but you envy the heft and lack of portability of desktop PCs? No, seriously, actually, this answers a question that a lot of our viewers tend to ask whenever we do a laptop review, which is, can the laptop handle this ridiculous GPU-based task that no laptop GPU is designed to handle? And the answer, of course, is bigger than a bread box. I guess it's actually about the size of a bread box. Do people even have bread boxes anymore? What was a bread box?
An increasingly antiquated comparison, but
I know,
it'll stick around.
I know. What was the point of a bread box?
You close the little door on the bread. Good night, bread.
Okay, I guess.
Keep the air out.
Yeah, I guess it prevents the bread from getting moldy, and this prevents your games from getting moldy.
It's so true.
Yes, this is the Razer Core X. And Buzzy, tell us what is in the black box.
The black box is, well, it's a black box. That's it. It's an empty black box. No, the black box currently is bearing a GTX 1080 from NVIDIA, but the idea is you can install any graphics card you have or want to acquire, slot it in here, connect it to your laptop via USB-C, and run real games off it.
So yes, this is an external GPU box.
Yes.
And now there's a couple of versions of the Razer Core out there.
This is the X.
So
this is the latest.
How is the X different from other eGPUs that are on the market?
So the X is the cheaper, larger solution. The Core V2 that I reviewed just a few months ago was $499, a little pricey. It is. I'll get into the differences, but
it's $499 without a graphics card.
Yeah, that's
$499
just for the box.
empty.
That's the box. It comes with a slot for the card. It comes with a power supply. It comes with a little fan in there to help cool the card down. There are more differences between the two that can account for the $200 price difference, but this box functions with fewer fancy features. It's basically the bottom line. It's bigger. It dropped a few features, which we'll get into, and as a result, it's $299 instead of $499. A little more affordable since you do have to acquire a graphics card on top of it, and if you don't already have a nice laptop, a laptop on top of that.
Okay, so let's start with what laptops does this work with?
Yeah, so the idea is, in general, macro level, big zoom out, the idea is you have an ultra portable laptop like this that, which this is a Razer Blade Stealth, that doesn't have a graphics card in it. It can't really play very many games at all. It's not equipped for gaming. You come home, you love taking it on the road, but then you slap it down on your desk, and boom, you have a gaming machine once you hook it up to a graphics card. The laptops that works best with are things like this. So in the past, it's been kind of iffy if it's compatible with other laptops. Physically, yes, because it's USB-C as an industry standard, so physically the ports work, but it was very hit and miss and hard to find information on whether your laptop would be compatible. It depends on the software that's enabled. It's a whole rigmarole. So Razer was a little more clear this time around. Windows 64-bit RS1, and drumroll, Mac OS. If you're running High Sierra 10.13.4, which is the April release, so it's like the newest, you know, if you've updated your laptop, and you have a MacBook, AMD graphics MacBook, you can also use your MacBooks with this, which for gaming, if you're running if you're running Boot Camp, if you're running Windows on your Mac, you can actually get Windows games. So that's like a big boon to people who love MacBooks.
So are there particular generations of MacBooks that it works with?
That's a good question because it's only ones with, we actually haven't had a chance to test, we just got this in, so we'll see, we have hit and miss what will work with what. But they have a list, and there's a list of compatibility, they made it easy to find. It's a hardware thing, so I think it needs the newer MacBooks, and it has to have the AMD graphics.
Okay.
And you can't have an NVIDIA card to work in here either with the MacBooks. It only runs with AMD.
Oh, interesting.
As opposed to, if you're running with Windows, you can put an AMD card or an NVIDIA card in here.
Okay, so you connect this thing with USB-C to your laptop, and then how are you outputting out of the box?
Out of the box, it's all done through this USB-C cable. This is plugged into the wall. It's also drawing, everything's happening, there's a lot happening through this little cable. This is getting charged through the dock, and it's transferring the data. This is running a smooth 1080p ultra setting game right now, which if I was running this on the actual cards actual laptop's graphics, it would be running much worse than this.
Right,
but
what I'm saying is if you want to then go to two 4K monitors, you're going off the port on the graphics card in the box.
Because the difference between this and the Core V2, which is, we'll start getting into that, it drops pretty much all the ports. So the Core V2 had an Ethernet jack, so you can get the wired connection, which is kind of ideal for gaming. And it had USB ports for extra pass-through, so you can plug in peripherals and what have you. You were still going off the graphics card's display ports, so that hasn't really changed. Plus, so you're left with only whatever your laptop has, which in this case is 2 extra USB ports.
Plus the display ports on the graphics card.
On the graphics card itself.
Okay, so now what graphics cards can we fit in here?
Pretty much anything. This bigger model, because it's bigger, it has a 600 watt power supply, which is like a kind of stock off-the-shelf power supply rather than the bespoke one that they had fit in the smaller Core, which is another thing to reduce the cost. Now you can get this more mass-produced power supply inside. Another thing, back to the graphics card. It fits 3 slot cards if you were to really go ham with one of the biggest cards around. It does run anything from the NVIDIA Titan down through the 10 series, down through the 900 series, and the 700 series.
So any graphics card you can get, and several that you cannot get right now.
Yeah, anything relatively recent and anything fairly old. That's from this 780 Ti down to the 750, the 980 Ti, the whole 900 series, and any of the new 10 series cards.
And now I would like to note it is audible. There's some
fans going on.
There's definitely some fan noise.
Yep.
Yeah.
Some of that might be a lot. No,
it's this.
It's definitely this.
Yeah, because this Razer Blade is very quiet.
Stealthy even.
Yeah.
There's one fan inside that's not making the noise. Actually, I think it's the card's
It's the card fan
really.
That's making
It's
noise.
really all. It's really all that's making all the noise. So things that have been dropped to reduce the price: those ports, the smaller, fancier power supply, the smaller design, and the Chroma Lighting. Razer's known for you can see it on the keyboard here. The lights are going crazy. The box itself, the last one, the other one, which is still available, this isn't replacing it. This is just an alternative. Could sync the lighting with the laptop's lighting.
Oh, that's cool.
Now there's just no lighting at all. So
still though, if what you're looking for just is graphics performance, this gives you the essentials.
Yes, it does the thing. It still does the thing. You don't get the fancy lighting. There's not extra ports, but as you can see, it's still running the thing. So
let's take a question.
How do we judge performance in this category?
That's a good question because A, there's not a lot of these boxes out there. B, it's a bit, you're going to be comparing. You just want to make sure it works. Honestly, if you can, there's 2 things you can do. One is, step 1 would be just comparing the laptop's frame rates when it's not plugged in to this machine, and then plugging it in with one of the nice graphics cards installed. If you see a huge jump in frame rates, it's working. You're getting what you need out of it. The second phase of that to see if you're getting some sort of performance loss or anything would just be to look at similar systems numbers. So if I'm running a 1080 in here, I might want to look at a laptop that has a 1080 or a desktop that has a 1080 and try to find something with a similar processor, similar amount of RAM, and see if there's some sort of big drop off with the frame rate.
So is it bleeding any performance through not being internal?
The Core, we haven't tested this one, but the Core V2 was minimal difference. It was roughly on par. I think there's maybe some degradation over the fact that it might be a cable, but it wasn't significant. I think it was a couple frames. I'll retest and confirm that with this. But that's kind of all you can. Obviously, it's really all you can do. If it's working as intended and you're not getting if your 1080 is performing anything like a 1080 should, then it's working properly.
Let's take another question.
To clarify one part of this, is it mandatory to have a USB-C hooked up into the Core X to work?
Yes. That's the only way the eGPU does its thing.
Does it have to be Thunderbolt?
It does.
Okay,
yes,
so it has to be a Thunderbolt USB-C.
Yeah. Yes. Good side note. Yes. Yeah. That's how it's transferring the visuals. That's how it's getting the power from which is impressive in this. This tiny cable is doing, as I said, a lot of work. Transferring all the power of the GPU.
So who else makes eGPUs other than Razer?
There's an Alienware one out there. There's a couple that are. There's been a few manufacturers who've come. I don't know if any of them you've even seen that's still really on the market. There's not that many of them out there.
Asus had one for like 20
Asus did have one.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know if that's still going. The Alienware one's the only one that pops to mind.
Because it's not that big a market.
It's not. I will say before I haven't got around to testing this, et cetera. The idea is appealing. You have to. I said this in my review of the Core V2. You have to really want to do this thing. You have to be dedicated to getting this set up. You have to have a laptop that. I mean, you can do this if you want, if you have the money, but I'm saying for it to make the most sense, you have a laptop that you use a lot on the road, that you take on your commute with you, that you travel a lot with, that you bring into your office.
But you don't play your games when you're on the road.
Right, and none of that stuff. And then you have to want to use that same system to game on. Like you love this, you like having your stuff on it, and you get home, and you don't want to have the desktop set up. You don't want to deal with anything else at home. You come home, you plop it down, you literally plug it in. The other thing I would suggest maybe is having a monitor at home though, because this is, it's a 14-inch screen. It's not the biggest thing in the world. 13-inch screen rather.
But I feel like also with a device like this, you're probably going to want to end up going out to a USB-C dock so that you can do your keyboard and your mouse and any other peripherals.
Especially
your
with this
sound
one
system.
because there's no extra USB ports.
Right.
So.
So if you get this, then you need to run a USB-C dock off the second USB-C port on your laptop, so you can get.
If you have to, which this one does not. So.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
So here, if you wanted to add a keyboard and a mouse and a sound system, you're kind of stuck.
Yeah, USB dock maybe. That's your options become limited because of the ports there. So. Like I said, you have to really want to do this setup because it actually the cost adds up. You need the laptop, can be, if it's a nice ultra portable, $1,000, $1,200. The graphics cards, depending on which one you get, anywhere from $300 to, I don't know, $800, depending on the market at the time. And then, of course, this on top. So
I guess one of the advantages is that, once more, a lot of our viewers often ask about devices being upgradable, and I never know whether it's that they actually intend to upgrade them or whether it's like an emotional security thing.
Right.
But if you're dealing with this, obviously your graphics card is then imminently upgradable.
Yes,
you can swap in new graphics cards every 20 minutes.
That is the main appeal. You don't have to replace a whole system. You don't have to replace a whole laptop. If you really like the design of your laptop and it has any of the new processors are fast enough and fine enough, they're going to run well for years. But the thing that would eventually hold you back would be the graphics card. So you take that out of the equation. You keep swapping in whatever one you want in this box. That will get expensive.
Yep.
But you upgrade every 2 or 3 years. You don't need to upgrade every year. Nothing like that.
Let's take some more questions.
Will it handle 4K processing?
That is
Dependent on the card.
Dependent on the card. Not all dependent on the card, but mostly dependent on the card. If you put a 1080 Ti in here, you put a Titan X in here, yeah, go nuts. Just the 1080, your frame rate's going to drop. It depends on what you play.
But that's not dependent on the box. It's dependent on the card.
Right.
Yeah.
The box itself. The box is a box. The box has a slot for the. And while we're doing this, I've been talking so much about the performance and stuff that we can actually see how it works. Let's close this down. Gonna disconnect.
Yeah, let's open this thing up.
Yeah. So speaking of the card, let's show you the card. Gonna turn it off. It's really just a power switch and power. Gonna disconnect everything. It's relatively simple. The box is a box, but it has just enough in it. So there's a fun handle. That's kind of fun. You feel like you're opening a nuclear something or other.
Oh, it's got a nice slide to it. Nice smooth slide.
And then it's literally just. I'll pull it. You can pull it all the way out.
Okay.
There's a bracket. Gonna undo the screw that holds it in place. There's a little lever down here. Oh, this is hot. It's fresh off the press.
Power supply. You got a fan.
Yep. And
you got up to a triple wide graphics card. Notice one card. This isn't crazy SLI nonsense in here.
Right. Yeah. No. It's not a. Don't go. Not gonna go nuts. But yeah, it's a real live 1080, a full size one. Oh, it's hot. Hot off the presses.
And really not much else in the box.
Yeah, not much else in the box. Like you have the power connectors you need. There's a lot of pins. They provide you with all the pins you might need. Here's the fan. This is the PSU, 600 watts, as I said. And yeah, that's pretty much the whole setup. It's a PCI slot. That's it.
We got some more questions.
Is there such thing as an external GPU unit with SLI?
Not that I know of. That's a task and a half. I don't even think that's possible because of the. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Because of the bandwidth of the USB-C connection?
Someone may correct me out there, but yeah, because of the USB-C, I don't think it can transfer the two cards which are using an SLI bridge to even connect them in the first place. I don't think a single cable can transfer that performance.
Okay. Any more questions out there? Nope. Okay, so this is a preview, not a review right now, right?
Yes, we just got this in. The embargo is up today, along with the new Blade laptop, which we don't have in yet. That is, you can go read about that on the site. I wrote a preview of both of those things because I saw both of them before today. Gasp. And that has some exciting new features as well. The new Blade, the Blade's their main gaming laptop with does have a graphics card in it, so you probably wouldn't connect that to one of these unless you have a super powerful card that you really want to one-up the gaming laptop on. So yeah, there's no review yet, but we'll start putting this through the paces now that we have it in. Try it with the MacBooks that we have on hand and make sure everything works as purported. Try a slew of Windows laptops to confirm that many of them are compatible.
So we're going to be plugging various things into the Razer Core X over the next few weeks. We will have a full review of the Razer Core X once we have plugged enough laptops into it. Thank you all for watching. This has been One Cool Thing. If you're watching on Facebook, we will be back at 10 a.m. tomorrow with another cool thing. If you're watching us on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Consider coming over to Facebook at 10 a.m. Eastern. We always have a fun discussion about our gadgets. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.